Hello YouTube, G-Man here. Hello YouTube, what am I doing today? Well, I'm fixing a couple of Mari Lwyds. What the hell is a Mari Lwyd? Well, it's a Welsh tradition. We're on the border, we're in Herefordshire, we're on the marches basically, the Welsh border, and it's a folk tradition. Basically, people run around with horse skulls in an outfit. The horse skulls are draped with bells and tatters and things like that, and it's like a New Year's wassailing tradition. It's part of the Morris dancing scene. And my mate Nick, he is a Mari Lwyd, and he's broken the noses on his horse skulls, so he's asked me to see if I can repair them. God knows how, but I'll show you what we've got. There are the Mari Lwyds, and there are the noses, and he snapped them off. You see? It should come out here. And they work. They're on like a really heavy duty frame that he's made, and there's a cloak over the top, and you sit on it and you can move the mouths and things. They're usually covered in all sorts of stuff. But yeah, we've got to repair these noses. How the hell are we going to do these? I don't know. He's given me another horse head as an example. So basically that bit there, that pointy bit on the nose, is missing on these. So we've got to try and effect a repair job. How are we going to do that? Let's have a look. Well, I haven't really thought this through too much, how we're going to make this part of the skull. I'm thinking aluminium fixed on, and then epoxy putty to mould it, make it look more like bone. I don't know. I think the first thing is to use a CAD program, that is cardboard aided design. Let's sort of mark out what we need to achieve the shape that we need. So pencil and cardboard, that's where the split's gonna go. Let's trim that out. And put it against what we've got and see if it'll work. Right. I've wrapped up the cloak that's on the back there. I've wrapped that up in a plastic bag to keep it nice and safe so we don't get it dirty, so that Nick's missus Laney doesn't kill me. Got my cardboard cut out. Let's put it on. Like that. I think something like that in aluminium would give me a chance. I can hammer it to shape. I can put it somehow, fix it on the inside, maybe nut and bolt. It's got to be a firm connection. Epoxy, contact cement, don't quite know yet. How are we going to fix it? Maybe we can fix it from the top and over mold it with epoxy. Something like that. See, you don't know what you're going to do until you do it. That's how I work. And people know that I do things and make things and repair things and mess about with things. So people bring me stuff like this. Let's cut a bit of alley, see what we get. It's been about 20 minutes, half an hour. That is the base for the nose bone, made out of aluminium, hammered, ground. That's just wedged in there at the moment, but it's not bad. I'll show you it against the real horse head with the complete nose bone and you can have a look. There you go. Not too bad, not too bad. Sort of similar. Basically just keep trying it, grinding it, messing about. That's the base, that's the support. Then I will get my epoxy putty, Milliput white, and I will mould over the top. That is just wedged in at the moment. Plenty of meat at the back, plenty of metal, so that I can actually, I think I'm going to epoxy it and run a couple of little bolts through there just to hold it. Hopefully I can hide them. We'll see. It's all suck it and see, but yeah, that's the first one. I'll have to make something similar for this one, but let's get one sort of done first. This is the trial. And we'll go from there. Poor horses. Oh, that was somebody's pride and joy at one point, that horse. Never mind. And that one. And that one. Red rum. Everybody's wondering where red rum went. Well, I think I might have found him. That works. Loads of epoxy and my little bolt, and I've got a nut as well, so put this in, find the hole hopefully. Come on, where are you? There you are. Right, now the tricky bit. How do I get this on? Oh God. Come on. Things I do. It's all good. It makes life interesting and it's good for YouTube. He says. Trying to convince himself. Now that's bent down. Right. Oh, come on. No, don't break the bone. Get up. Get up. Got ya. That is fixed. Wet my thumb. Push this epoxy in. We need a good seal. I want it to hold if I can. Well, it's not the best fit, but it's quite firm. Looks good from the side. Looks like it's on the right sort of angle. I think it'll do. Oh, that was a pain in the bum. Let's bash out another one on the anvil. New to the repair shop, we have Graham, a tithead from Herefordshire, who likes tinkering and messing about with stuff. There we have the second one, hammered out from aluminium. It will slot in there. Well, when I've cut it out a bit, there you go. It will fit in there. I'll put a bolt through it. I'm going to leave those little bolt heads because they look cool anyway. I'll glue it in and it'll be ready for epoxy putty moulding and shaping. I've kept the aluminium all roughed up because aluminium is a notoriously slippy metal, and things like paint and glue, they don't like to stick to it, so keep it rough. It'll hold better. Right, let's drill that and fix that one on. Gotta wait for that to dry now. Let's go and have a cup of tea. Right, the glue is relatively dry. It's not properly dried, but I'm impatient. What I have here is 2-part epoxy putty. So basically, cut a bit off, knead it together 2 or 3 minutes, and then you can use it like plasticine. I can use it to mould the bone structure on these skulls. Then before it dries, you get about an hour. You can texture it somehow and make the fine little cracks in it and everything, and then once that's all cured, I should be digging out my paints and trying to colour match. I used to work in the printing industry for years, so colour matching should be okay. If not, I'll give it to Nick and he can respray it. But yeah, that's the next step. Get some of this ready and mould it on, and let's see what we can do with that. We'll just build up a base layer at first. Get it somewhere close to how we want it. This isn't my usual epoxy putty that I'm used to, so this is a cheap brand off Amazon. So it's going to take a bit of getting used to. What you do, you wet your finger, a bit of spit, and you can mould these putties. Just keep building it up. I'm going to try and work quite fast because, again, I don't know this putty. Milliput is my usual. If I end up doing a lot of sanding, so be it. But you could probably get it near enough without resorting to loads of sanding. Just with moulding it with your fingers and wetting it and smoothing it. And wet finger, bit of spit, give it a rub, and you can smooth it like you would wet clay. Wet the blade on this knife, give it a bit more definition. Let's give it a bit of texture with a big old brush. What do you think? Not too bad. Obviously you've got to look through the colour difference until it's painted, but when that thing's looming at you with Nick underneath it, I don't think you're going to notice that that's not the real nose bone, are you? Right, let's mould this one. Alright, it's been a few hours. And there are the noses. There's the one. There's the other. I didn't have to sand anything because, well, it's got to match the rest of the skull, and the skull's got a rough finish, so yeah, there they are, ready to be painted. And I've dug out my old paints for canal art, you know, painting roses and castles and that on canal boats, that sort of thing. So we're going to mix up some paint, colour match it to this, and paint those noses. Let's get on with that. There you go, we're somewhere close now. I had to put all sorts of colours in this, bit of red, bit of blue, loads of black, but we're close. Very close to the original shade. What do you reckon? That look all right? I think so. Look all right when it's dry. Yeah. Well, there you go. I've finished. I've colour blended it as best I can. There's the new nose. There's the other one. The paint's still wet, but it's not gloss when it dries. It's semi-gloss, so it should match in perfectly. There you go. Rebuilt the noses on these Mari Lwyds. If you want to know more about Mari Lwyds, look it up on Google. I could explain it to you, but it would take ages. And there's loads of info. But yeah, there you go. Ready for a bit of Morris dancing. Ready to scare some kids. Ready for the wassails. I hope you enjoyed watching this. That's me done and going in for my tea. I'll see you later.